down to basics, fixing an election. It's all easy.
Right on.
What a bunch of trash.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Trash Movie Kings podcast. I am your host, Adam Edwards. Before we get started, housekeeping at the top of the show, trying to get better about that. If you're not following us already on social media, give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, X at Trash Movie Kings, YouTube, Trash Movie Kings. If there's a movie that you want us to see, shoot us an email at trashmoviekings@gmail.com. I think that's all I got. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify.
I feel like I need to apologize for accidentally deleting last week's episode of Anaconda. Probably would have been good. Probably would have got a lot of hits, honestly.
We'll never know.
Feel pretty bad about it, but
probably would have been taken down.
I don't like to do technical things after a few beers, and that's my bad.
Well, hopefully we have it figured out moving forward. We have some backups. You would think that people who have made careers in production
wouldn't just be in the seat of their pants all the time, but
hey, it hasn't happened yet, though. I mean, not
this is the
I've been
first time after 2 years plus. So,
and you know what? It was really fun. I think if you want to give us like some Patreon money, we don't have a Patreon, but like, you know, if you want to like give us $100,
send me stuff on Cash App.
We'll record an episode of Anaconda with you. We'll figure out the number later, but you know, just let us know.
I'm not doing it for $100.
I know. I'm sorry. Is that what our Patreon should be? Is that what people do? Just do really popular movies that you want to pay for?
They would do like different alternate movies like that wouldn't be on the feed or something like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like we'll do The Room, but only if you're on the Patreon.
Yeah.
That would be the thing, I think.
That's how you do it. Anyway, this week we are slightly pivoting away from Sssnaketember, although there were snakes mentioned in this movie.
Style.
No visible snakes that I remember.
No.
The word snake.
Although we did have an Arizona Snakes ball cap. Very briefly. This week we watched NARCO SHARK, 2023's NARCO SHARK.
Spanking new.
Yeah, as of a week ago, maybe. Full disclosure, Joey and I at least did donate to this Kickstarter. And so we were able to get early access to the movie. It was sent out, I guess, 3 or 4 days ago, as of the time of this recording. We did a trailer trash of this about a year ago, and now the movie is out, which is a weird way to feel old. That we've been doing this podcast long enough that we saw a trailer for a movie. It is now out, and Dickhead is not.
Oh boy.
It's true. It's a fact. It's not hyperbole.
I gotta start on another movie soon or I'm gonna die.
Yeah. This was a Kickstarter movie made by Gerardo Preciado, also known as the Ancient Order of the Droids.
Oh, nice. Another Ancient Order.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, little
kind
of like Sharknado, I guess is what some people have said.
No.
I agree. It's not. I'm just saying.
It's what it's sold as, kind of.
Yeah.
But this is an out there thing.
Yes.
I think you guys were spot on with like it's sort of got some influence from like an Adult Swim production. I was thinking I finished it and I was like, this is like Casper Kelly making his first movie without any money and just like being a lunatic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
what's
like
that?
Really
What's that?
Raw.
Joey, what's that? Xavier?
Renegade Angel.
Yeah. So it's got that meets Neil Breen.
To some degree, I would agree.
I didn't think of Breen at all in this. Actually, it was more like a Kung Pao riff. Like, you know, it had a lot of those bits in it. But
yeah, it had some Kung Pao in there. Which that movie. Weird story. So I asked my parents to take me to go see Kung Pao when that came out in theaters
Mhm.
because I was too young to drive. And they took my brother and I and walked out 30 minutes in.
Wow.
Wow.
You
It's-
walked out, or your parents made you walk out?
My parents had us
Yeah.
walk out because they were so like they weren't like offended or anything. They were just like, this sucks. And they
Yeah, I don't think I understood the satire. I didn't understand the riff of it back
Yeah.
then. Or
It was the guy
what they
who
were doing.
directed Ace Ventura putting himself into old
martial arts movies.
martial arts.
Yeah.
kung
Steve
fu movies,
Odenkirk.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the Thumb Wars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And then I watched it later on like a band bus, and I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching it in college finally because I didn't watch it when it first came out, and I was like, "Oh, that was funny."
Yeah, I haven't seen it
revisited
since, but you know,
yeah.
It's really dumb, but I can see why your parents were like, "God damn, this is mind-numbingly stupid."
Yeah.
But it's not that bad.
no. Anyway, yeah. So Narco Shark, it's out there. It's bizarre.
It's certainly something.
It's something. He had a vision.
Yeah, I like I said, it's similar to how I describe Casper Kelly stuff. I feel like it's like very like a comedy bend on some Lynchian ideas. This one's definitely more comedy, much more raw. Like the ideas are there; they're not as crisp as like the Yule Log is. Definitely like his more
Cohesive, thing.
refined kind of thing. The guy, I mean, that Casper Kelly, I think, is like well into his 40s, maybe, and probably I don't know how many films he's made, but this has like some of that residue from those kind of, I don't know, really some really heady stuff is in this, mixed in with mostly really fucking dumb stuff, which
It'll linger on a bit, like for a really long time to get that. Like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like when you really lean into this one thing and you're just like, it's weird for a bit, but then it gets funny after a while. Like they're trying to go for some of those things. And then obviously all the VHS, the retro stuff really kind of disorients. Like all the dialogue is dubbed, and it's like triple. I don't know what's the technical term for all that they're doing.
A couple effects panels, like they'll throw like a pitch shifter, but then overlay it with the original track, and
it's probably a flanger in there.
And
a bunch of just weird effects on every voice.
Yeah.
That none of it matches. It's all just English dubs.
They're doing like the Godzilla dub, but it's Mexican Yakuza.
You idiots! That was a rhetorical question! Go! Get them!
Like you've seen bad dubs. This is like on a totally different level, like purposefully to the extreme.
Yeah.
Mileage will vary for this kind of film, for certainly.
I think if you watch the trailer and you are expecting an hour plus of that movie, you will be disappointed. It has those moments in there for sure.
Yeah.
But that energy is not throughout the movie. It's a very different movie, which is not a bad thing necessarily. It's just
it's definitely not a shark that is carrying narcotics inside of it like I thought.
right.
Yeah.
The shark is barely in
the
it,
shark
to be
was
honest.
carrying the narcotics.
That's how I feel like it was sort of sold, but I don't know that for sure. I'd have to rewatch the trailer knowing now what it is.
I remember in my head thinking that, and I'm very bad at reading trailers for what they're supposed to be, but I remember thinking it was a shark that was like almost like Cocaine Bear, but a shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was like a land shark. Like it got a hold of a bunch of narcotics and then is just like fucking up a bunch of people.
Right. That's what I thought, that somebody had the idea to put cocaine inside of a shark to carry it across a border or something. I don't know. This is just what I was imagining. But it's not that at all. I don't.
No.
I wrote down the plot, but it's not going to give you a good sense of like what this movie is trying to do. Really, it's very it's almost like postmodern or something. I forget. I think we have a new term for this, but I'm forgetting what it is right now. But it's hyper aware of itself. Some of the characters talk about themselves being in a movie.
Yeah.
And it plays on bad movies.
It fast forwards itself through intentionally boring scenes.
Yeah, and it's certainly interesting. It's like it knows it's a bad movie. I kept thinking like if this would be in a David Lynch movie, something like this, but I would have no idea that it was happening while it was happening. It would just start and I would be like, what is this? What is this supposed to mean? And then later I would read about it for years and then I'd be like, oh, it's supposed to be the therapist talking about him in the movie or something.
I was with a friend actually just last week and we were watching Twin Peaks.
Congratulations.
And so I'd never seen it. But I want to know because like, have y'all seen the second season of Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
The second season or the most recent one, The Return?
No, like the second. Well, I don't know because we accidentally watched the first episode of the second season.
Like the second season from the 9? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that one from the 90s. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like that scene with the butler. And he's like, I know you. And it like just goes back and forth with that for like a long ass time. Like that's kind of how this movie felt. And Kyle MacLachlan's on the floor and he's just like, the phone's for you. And they just keep like, it's like they're really beating this scene to death, you know? And like, I feel like that was this, but they're also like, I thought a lot of the bits were really funny with the drug, the needle through the tongue and like the sister panda, which we'll get into, I'm sure. But like, I feel like a lot of the filler was like, they were trying to make the filler funny, but like some of that didn't. Like I think this would be a really great 55-minute movie. I really think that. And I don't mean to give them notes or anything. I'm just saying that like getting to those parts would be like there were some really great moments in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they beat some of the jokes to death. Should we just cut that because we know them? I don't know.
No, it's fine. I think you'll appreciate it.
I don't want to sterilize this.
Sure.
No, yeah. I mean, there's some rocky parts. Like I was saying, it feels very raw.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope this guy makes another movie.
Yes.
I kept thinking that because I was like, this is.
But I don't want to see Narco Cop.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly interested in Narco Cop, although make a short film out of that. Do it.
Yeah.
I like that bit. Sure. That bit was fun. Yeah. When he's shooting the guys and all that, that was, that was worth it.
I don't know, but maybe he could pull it off. I don't know. There's something weird going on in it. And I like all the stuff that's like hyper conscious of itself. And that stuff sticks out to me. And I'm like, do more of that and figure out what that is, because that's good stuff. Although the comedy is very fucking good too.
I feel like do less of that.
I don't know. I feel like
I think especially the scenes after. I mean, it was good for this one, but the scenes after tell me that the director the writer director, like he has a lot to say.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's got a relevant tone, and I think it's relevant to where he's from. And I feel like he's got a lot to say. Don't say it facetiously, say it. Just say it. And I think he could be on the verge of making something important.
No, I think we're agreeing actually, because I think it's the parts that stand out to me that despite them being hyper postmodern or whatever you want to say, felt like really sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, I wish he was going to explore that more, but it kept coming back to like, bad movie comedy, which
I don't mind at all.
No, it had some fucking amazing, really funny lines and parts that were amazing, but how those matched up to like some of his feelings about why he's attracted to these things, I think was interesting. It was like just kind of peppered in there. I didn't really get a good sense of it by the end, but it definitely was like, this guy has watched so much bad shit. He is similar to us, maybe, that he feels some kind of way about it. I think he feels a little more deeply about it than I do.
Yeah, you kind of compartmentalize it.
Well, he went into it at the end, sort of like there was like the twin brother element was related to. So basically, I'm sorry, without going into the plot, I guess if we are going to read it, but in the beginning, it starts with them putting in the VHS of this movie, and then when the movie's done, it was his therapist or something and him with a haircut. So it's like he at the end of the movie,
It's
he has
him.
him, and he has like a mask of himself. And the therapist tells him to take it off, and he's
Very
like
lynching,
crying underneath. Yeah. And like he grabs this box on top of the TV that's very forbidden, but then he turns into a younger version of himself, and he has this darkness. And like, it's like, I wanted to know more about that. Like, that is very interesting to me. And also how that tied into all the tropes. I mean, not tropes, but all the elements of the film as well.
That's a hypnotherapy technique.
Well, and I was going to say the movie Narco Shark, the movie inside the movie, I guess, is very dreamlike. And the character goes through dream phases and things like that. So it could be that, right? That it was a hypnotherapy type session.
Even that one thing, the whole beach thing, he hallucinates. So there's that kind of stuff there. And
it to the point that like it changes aspect ratio during those things. It goes out to like 16:9 or something similar, and then goes back down to 4:3 for the rest of the movie.
I didn't even notice really. Oh, gotcha.
It's doing interesting things for sure. It's deeper than a B movie ripoff or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It's not just trying to entertain you, popcorn. It has some stuff to say. I wish it did more of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the sillier aspects of it were pretty entertaining for the most part.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to read this plot?
Before we move into the plot, there's something that's been on my mind, and nobody here will get this, and probably nobody listening will appreciate it. But
great
for people who like video games, this movie is like if the game Jazz Punk was made by Jonathan Blow. I just had to say that. Thank you for listening.
Right, it's a Trash Movie Kings.
Who the fuck is Jonathan Blow?
He is a video game designer.
Oh, wow.
Jack Pump is a game.
Jazz Punk.
Okay.
Jack Pump.
Actually, I think you would like that game a lot, Joey. It's pretty short. It's very Lynchian.
Okay.
It's not difficult at all. It's just like a experience that you kind of go through. Anyway.
All right.
So, as usual, Joey wrote out the things that happened in this movie, and we will read it now. So take it away, Joey.
So the movie lets us know a lead actor is dead. I'm just letting you know what the movie does. And within the movie, he's been replaced with CGI. So just before I start. All right. So a Mexican cartel sells some cocaine to the Yakuza, but there is a monster who fucks up the deal. It turns out to be a floating shark. And now the money and cocaine are all gone. So then Ricky, some kind of detective, famous saxophone player, is on the case, maybe? He performs the sax at, I guess, a bar with 3 hands? I don't know. He does some devil magic to make a ghost twin and then goes to interrogate some randoms on the street. And of those randoms, he steals someone's eyes and then steals a blind man's stick of gum. Then he goes home to blow saxophone all over his mannequin bride, who he has never fucked because he has some kind of weird dick. And then he also blows sax on the anus of his brother-in-law, which is the CGI actor that died.
His mother then calls and reminds him to not be using black magic, but he clearly has been. Meanwhile, the Yakuza celebrates the arrival of the CGI shark into their world with a sacrifice, but it's not enough.
No! The sacrifice is not enough!
So they go find the sexy sax player Ricky and somehow get him to the beach where he has to fight for his life, but he was just hallucinating. And then he's back at home and shows his brother-in-law, Tito, his weird dick. and then shows him his appreciation or goddamn it, apparition mirror self guy. Edit point here. Then watches a movie and he blows sax on his wife again. Later, sexy sax Ricky teaches Tito how to be quote cool, which turns out to be shooting up smack and breakdancing. But the Yakuza spoil the party. Thankfully, Ricky fends them off with his karate.
Ricky then gets Tito, a leather daddy, to fuck him in order to make him cool. So that happens. Later, Yakuza shows up at Ricky's house and take his bride and tie Ricky and Tito up. But they pretend to have migraines, and his sister Panda, some kind of ghost migraine solving nun, shows up to free them, and Ricky kills her with a rock.
More Yakuza go after our guys, who are now dressed as nuns. They defeat all the red ninjas, and then Ricky faces off with the gold ninja, while Tito R's an unconscious red ninja. But the gold ninja turns out to be his long-lost brother that was raised by a shark. But Ricky shoots his brother with his dick, which turns out to be a hand. The gold ninja monologues about their life for a while, but Tito conjures up his weird ghost mirror self with his black magic tattoo buttons and uses his own pervy black magic to defeat the gold ninja and the CGI shark. But Tito dies, leaving behind his blue ghost self, who puts on makeup and presumably continues his life as Tito. But then the animated shark comes into this world and makes him shoot a basketball to save the world. Then Jesus shows up and tells Ricky and Tito to stop fucking around with black magic. And Jesus wept.
Amen.
That's the end, but that's not the end.
Right. It's the end of that's the first credit roll. And then
It's the end of the narrative.
And then we already talked about it, but tape
Yeah.
comes out and it's like him and his psychotherapist or whatever.
Yes.
And then there's more stuff, and then there's a trailer for Narco Cop.
Yes. And that's the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a little bit during the movie about the actor being fake
Dead or not? He clearly leaves the movie.
Yes. Because the way it's framed in the movie is that he died with, what does it say? It's like 24 different illicit drugs in his system, and then his butthole is filled with a poisonous rattlesnake.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. And then the doctor said that his cause of death was unknown.
Right. Yeah. It was a really funny bit, or an actual send off for a guy who actually died. I can't tell because I've looked all over the internet.
I could only hope that he's actually dead and they made these jokes.
Yeah, in his honor.
Despite
Nice.
I can only hope.
If I die in the middle of a movie, I hope y'all do that and say that I had like raccoons up my ass.
Well,
Definitely will.
we're gonna do my dream, which is always to do a movie with an animated corpse.
Oh.
We'll finish the
Mr.
movie
Burn,
with
like
you.
Weekend at Bernie style.
Weekend at Daddy's. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get you before rigor mortis sets in to
Mhm.
finish all your scenes. That'll be a rush job, but
Nice.
yeah,
movie
you got
will
like
get done.
what, 3 hours?
yeah,
Or we could reenact
it's gonna
that
happen really
scene.
fast.
Got to plan that death.
I mean, we're gonna work through that rigor mortis.
I just want.
We're gonna bring in a massage therapist.
We're gonna work through it.
I can be my own stand-in. That's the interesting thing,
Yeah.
is you can light all the scenes while I'm still alive.
Yeah.
We shoot it chronologically and then decomposing through.
You know, I don't think rigor mortis sticks around that long, so we might have to make quick work of this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
I just want to hear Justin say "Weekend at Daddy's." You know, like
Oh, I really wish Justin had seen this one. I'm curious whether he would have either given it a 0 or a 5. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would
one
have
of those
depended
two.
on his mood.
no in between, none.
It is a Justin Petty movie.
He would have strong feelings about it.
Yes. But it might
As
sit in
he
that
should.
valley of like, it's a little too much of a Justin movie and it makes him think about himself too much. And so then he's like, I hate this. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, it's like looking into a mirror for too long.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, we talked a lot at the front of the show.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if this is interesting to talk about for the show, but something that I keep thinking about is just the production of this movie, or like I guess the crowdfunding aspect of this movie, that it's interesting that they shot enough to make a really cool and punchy trailer, and then raised, like, they beat their goal. They almost doubled their goal.
What was the goal? Did you look?
I think it's 60,000 pesos. Let me pull it back up.
That's not very much. What is that? $5,000 or something?
I will say, like, if you watch any prominent YouTubers or even just relatively famous YouTubers, they have that like patron screen at the end, and it's something like, I don't know, 5,000 patrons or something like that. Like, they show everybody. It's really small text.
Yeah.
But for this movie, it's pretty big font, and there were like 2 pages of it. So they really grassroots like raised funds for this. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's about 3,500 US dollars.
Wow.
Depending on the time of year, because the value has fluctuated a lot recently.
Yeah.
That was the goal, and their goal was 60,000 pesos, and they've currently raised 115,000, so almost double.
Oh, nice.
Which is, and only like you were saying, JD, only 81 backers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I figured. I thought they had like a mention in Fangoria or something.
Yeah, I think they did.
I figured it would have been a little more than that, but
well, they also have an Indiegogo, I think, so maybe there's more there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a Kickstarter. I mean, they hit the El Mariachi number, like the magic 7,000, like, which is what they made
in 1991.
Well, right.
versus-
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's 35,000 nowadays.
I think that's what Christopher Nolan got for Following. I think, like, there's a couple, like 7,000 is a magic number, but now it's not as much.
I mean, we were commenting on a lot of it's like, did they shoot this on green screen? Because I don't know what
Yeah,
he's doing
it makes you feel
to
that
it.
way.
Just everything
Some
is
scenes are-
so there's no depth of field to anything for a lot of it. It's interesting looking in a way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was briefly like a cool thing to do in maybe the 60s, when people started doing like maximalist production design, to have cameras that had very little depth of field so you could see fucking everything. Like, look at all the shit that we got. So it was kind of like, I don't know, reminding me of that in a weird way, although, definitely
It also felt
not because of the production design, it was just that way.
Yeah. It also felt like undercranked or over. I'm not sure which one, but it was like
Feels like 60
the
frames
cars
a
were
second or
moving
something.
fast.
Yeah, it feels like 60.
The cars in the
Yeah.
background were moving super fast, and then the actors were, I can't tell if they were purposefully going slower to compensate for that, but there was definitely a vibe that they created with this whole film.
I was expecting the blind guy to get those eyes at some point. We never really
Yeah.
went, or even the eyes to come back.
Yeah.
I feel
Maybe
like
that's in
scene
NARCO SHARK too.
probably could have gone, but a lot of influences, and then like trying to synergize those into something new. It doesn't quite fully realize, but it's interesting.
Well, Sister Panda.
Sister Panda was great.
Sister Panda was
It's a recurring bit. It's like a commercial that
keeps playing.
pops up in the middle of this
Definitely.
movie.
The Casper Kelly of this movie. Like, that is,
Yes.
because like Sister Panda comes up, it's basically a nun. It looks like the Terrifier.
It
if
looks like
anybody's
the
familiar with
nun.
that.
Oh yeah, it does
Yeah.
look like Terrifier clown.
And then they have this like stock image of like an actual panda face in a nun costume, but it's nothing like what the actor looks like. So like,
Panda.
yeah, like that was really funny. And they do this thing about, oh, do you have a migraine? Take a pill. And then like they do it again, and the guy's like, I don't have a migraine. It's like, take a pill, and it's just like it does that 4 more times, and it gets more ridiculous as it goes.
Yeah.
So
I
really enjoyed that.
Yeah, then it breaks into the actual plot at some point where the guys are tied up and they're like, let's say we have migraines, and then Sister Panda will show up, and I guess
Sister
frees
Panda
them
needs some
somehow.
sugar.
I can't remember. Well, yeah, she likes to kiss with her Tom.
Yeah, give me some sugar.
Oh man.
Tito is a awful character that is half CGI. who was like, at first you're like, oh, this guy's a weirdo, and he's harmless or whatever. But by the end of it, he's raping ninjas, and he's the other. Ricky's just like,
Okay then, I'll get going. I'm going to, fight the golden ninja and stuff. Anyway, I'll be over there. See
He's
you
just completely enabling his sexual deviancy.
Oh.
that was actually really interesting to me. Is like, oh, this guy, due to his training, perhaps, or some inherent thing he already had. So now
It's his origin story, because the leather daddy R's him in the beginning, much like a spider bit Peter Parker, and now he R's the ninjas.
I think he loved it, so I don't know. It's a really confusing character.
I just
And
wonder.
it's half fake, or he has that weird.
I don't think he's confusing. I think he's autistic.
I think Tito is the projection of the main character, not Ricky, but Gerardo, essentially, like his inner child that he hasn't addressed, and he's like ignoring it, and
it's a literal projection.
He's like, I think it's fucking him.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, and like pushing it to the side, and that's why the face changes, and that's why he just doesn't want to confront the issues that Tito presents.
That is an interesting reading for probably something that was just happenstance with the character dying, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
No,
Right.
I think Adam's 100% right.
That's how it definitely how it plays.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know if it's literal. I think it's more. I think it's more him interacting with her autistic brother,
Yeah.
and it's conjuring up memories of his inner child that he has yet to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Which again harkens back to my concept of this writer. What's his name?
Gerardo.
Gerardo has stuff to say.
Yeah, I mean,
he does.
He has questions about himself of like, why am I attracted to this stuff, this foul behavior, these bad movies that I love? I don't know. It's interesting.
It honestly makes me interested in what he does next.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Is like, if Narco Cop could be more, lean in a little more about like that kind of feeling, maybe it would be interesting. I don't love the look of this movie overall. Like, it's fine for this, but I wish he would maybe graduate from it and try something.
I don't know how you could see this and think, oh, he needs to graduate from the look of it. He has a style. It's raw, but it's not. I mean, everything he did was in post.
Yeah.
There's nothing raw about spending 90% of your time in post. So it's not like he lacks any ability to film or shoot it however he wants it to be. Like, I feel like his vision for this one played to it being edited this way.
I don't want to be like shitty or reductive, and I don't want to say like maybe this isn't the case, but it kind of felt like he shot it all and everything, and then he just kind of threw it in, like he edited it and then put the Red Giant Universe VHS filter on top of it, and then was just like, good. Like, it could be a little, like the style could be a little more dialed in and a little more
yeah, even if it was within this kind of thing that he's doing, you could still get more out of it.
It feels almost like a preset. I want to, like, that sounds super shitty, but like you could play with the visual style a little bit more to make it feel more natural, maybe.
Yeah, because he does that with the fast forwarding stuff, like the
Mhm.
self-referential, like, oh, it's like when fast forwarding through the boring parts, and he does that and it works for the most part. But there was one where he said like, oh, this is like in those bad movies where they try to fill up the plot with meaningless dialogue. And it's like, well, you're making that joke, but you're not really doing anything with it. You're actually trying to fill time. So like if he had done something more with that part of it, I think that would have really worked.
Yeah.
But some of it
some
did feel
stuff-
like it dragged for a
Some
while.
stuff doesn't
So-
quite hit.
That Sister Panda though, man, that's fucking hot.
It blows my mind that there was any time for filler. I don't understand that. Like, I think my mind doesn't compute like how you couldn't have written 80 pages easy with all the plot points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he's experimenting with what JD was talking about, that line where he's trying to be postmodern and talk like he's in the movie within the, or meta maybe is
Meta.
the term.
Yeah.
I think he's like experimenting with that and doesn't quite know exactly how to make it function as, I don't know, for lack of a better term, art, I guess. Like some of it works, some of it doesn't. Some of the, I was going to say earlier, is like when he's making all this wild, very juvenile humor stuff, it's like he can't help himself. It's like he has to do it as juvenile as possible. And then the movie will then comment about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting dynamic of your creative
It's like a self
gas. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
within the movies, like, oh, am I fucked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know, but I like it. I really like it when I'm doing it, but it's like, was this wrong?
Yeah, right.
It's interesting to see like the creative process just right there.
Just
in the
blowing.
movie.
Yeah, just right
Just
there.
right there.
It's cool.
I just wonder
Sometimes-
how much of the editing style is beneath his ability. And I kind of feel like because he was able to throw that together in the time frame we know he threw it together, how much of that was him? Like you know the name of the filter that he probably used. Most people don't.
I mean, this movie is
So-
all him. I would doubt. I didn't
Yeah.
look at the credits, but I'm going to say like 5 people worked on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this guy's got a way more. I think this guy's got a punch to the depth of his material. It's a gut punch. Like I think he's got a like. I think there's a lot more in the tank of what he's gonna create,
I hope so.
and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he according to Letterboxd, which by the way nobody has reviewed this yet.
Well,
Uh,
we
We're
didn't
the
jump on that.
first.
Yeah, only 2 people have watched it. One is him and one is the other producer.
Nice. Well, I hope, some people see this and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to Letterboxd, because this is not on IMDb yet, he wrote it, directed it, edited it, shot it,
Wow.
wrote the score.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. The only thing he did not do was, obviously some of the roles and produce it. But he was the.
Oh, he
executive
had someone else
producer.
produce it?
That's what it says. He had 3 producers, 2
And like
executive
the marketing
producers.
is really cool. Like I thought all
Which-
the
I wonder,
stuff I saw
if
was
it's
cool.
like his sister or something. No offense. We've done.
You mean
Oh,
his
Anakin?
mannequin
Yes,
sister?
yes,
Yes, we've done that. We've done that. Like we need more names in these credits. It can't
Yeah.
just be Justin Petty and
Oh.
Joseph Graham.
Really,
100 times.
my sister held the boom pole that one day. She's a boom op. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I made your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Okay, should we just talk about favorite
Yeah.
parts or
Yeah,
lines?
sure.
Let's do favorite
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
Let's hurry
Gone
up.
on for a while.
Go for it, JD.
Yeah, the mannequin, which is also his bride in a bride's dress.
That's the first thing I wrote down. That's
Pretty
fucking
great.
an amazing scene.
She strips, which is amazing. And then and she goes, "Aren't you going to eat dinner? I made your favorite movies." And it's this like pot filled with VHS tapes.
It's fantastic.
That was pretty great. We all laughed pretty loud at that.
Nikita, what's for dinner?
I made your favorite movies.
So coming.
I also I won't step on too many other parts, but I will say Apocalypse had a line that was really good.
What'd I say?
He goes, I'm going to be honest. The vibe I get is that he died.
This is our discussion of whether or not Tito was
It's really
actually
dead or not.
as the movie claims at the beginning of the film.
That's going to be my review on Letterboxd. Is Tito dead or what?
He very well could have died. Okay, Tito,
like you did.
you definitely need to write that in there because I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad. I hope he's not. But
I hope he's not.
I don't know if it's funny either way, but it's yeah. And yeah. So I'll save my other line for later, but go ahead.
Joey, favorite part.
I was just reading this first line I have written down, and I can't remember what the context is. But I just wrote down, speaking of the good stuff.
Oh, that's the mannequin again. She spreads her legs. I have that written down too. And it's a POV shot.
Do you think the characters in a movie know they are in a movie?
Of course not. Otherwise, they will never get bored. They will just fast forward to the good stuff.
Oh.
I get it.
Because they're in a movie.
I respect the commitment to film all of
Speaking
them.
of the good stuff,
Oh.
Yeah.
And then this is like not a loose quote, but it's before you can be cool, you must suffer.
It's true.
I made a mistake, Tito, thinking you could learn to break dance that easily. First, you must learn to suffer. First, you must learn to be a man.
That's my. Yeah, I'm still in that suffering phase.
Constantly.
Apocalypse.
My favorite part is in the beginning when they first meet the ninjas. He throws an empty satchel or an empty bag down on the ground, and then it cuts to a shot of that bag filled with cocaine.
Yeah.
And it was plainly not the same thing. It very well might have been the same bag, and it very well might have been something they shot, not stock footage.
Yeah,
but it definitely wasn't all shot on the same day or in the same take, because the bag he threw on the ground was empty. Then it cuts to a close up of seemingly 3 kilos of cocaine in the bag.
Of all-purpose flour. Yeah.
I don't know why that stuck out to me, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. I also liked shortly, like maybe 2 lines after that, where they're asking for the money, and he's like, "Oh, so that's what, I don't know, 10 million pesos looks like," and it's just like 4 stacks.
Oh yeah.
Good joke. Good joke.
That was
Good
great.
show.
Yeah.
My like fun favorite part is just the sound effects throughout this movie. There's some really interesting choices. There's the gold ninja has his tall boy can, and he throws it down, and it's like shattered glass.
Sacrifice is not enough.
So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the thing from American not American Pie. Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the cowbell to indicate katanas clanging together.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
The cowbell was great.
The saxophone blocking the thing had like that tube sound that's in like one of those, I don't know, it's funny.
Yeah.
One of those sound effects packages that you can buy.
But then my favorite part is after the credits and the therapist scene, because and this kind of gets into the ratings as well, but like truthfully, when those credits rolled, I was a little bit like, okay, it's over. Like let's move on.
It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And then the therapist scene happens, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is something different. And it like really recontextualized the entire movie in a way that I wasn't expecting. I think that's pretty cool, and it deserves to be acknowledged.
Y mientras no sanes ese niño interno, las cosas solo empeorarán. Y ya es decir mucho con esta última cinta.
What did it say?
If you don't heal your inner child, things will get worse. And by the looks of that last film, it's like already pretty bad.
I have one other line. Somebody said, in the movie, don't send a testicle to do a cock's work. That was pretty great.
There's a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the tattoo. So he has, so Ricky has these 3 tattoos, and they're all of the same like flower, I guess. And they have like, one has a triangle, one has a star, one has a circle. And then Tito,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah, you'll see it in this episode somewhere. Watch it on Spotify. And then Tito he's like, let me make a tattoo of things I like, and it's like boobs, a butt, and a dick.
Butt, boobs, dick. Yeah.
Butt, boobs, boner. I mean, it's dude loves the bees.
And that's where he gets his powers from. So great, good for him.
Dude loves the bees.
Yeah.
Do you know how difficult it is to run a cult?
I do, actually.
I liked also the movie.
It's not difficult at all.
The movie does not swear. The movie.
Oh right.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect.
It's like instead of shit, they'll say cheese.
Yeah, you farting piece of cheese.
Yeah, instead of fuck, it's fart. You mother farters, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought was really interesting is when Ricky talks to his mother on the phone, they're speaking in Spanish, and the subtitles are still in English.
That rang very true to me, though.
What's that?
I have Spanish speaking friends that speak perfect English normally, but then when their parents call them, speak Spanish on the phone.
Yeah. But what I thought was interesting was when he's talking to her and he swears, he uses the English word he uses the Spanish word for the English word, if that makes sense. So like instead of saying shit and using a Spanish word that sounds like shit, he said queso, which I thought was
that's
like
right. Yeah.
really
Right,
funny
you did.
and interesting.
That was really funny. Yeah.
I was like, okay, so you're going like a couple of steps beyond the obvious thing. Like that's okay.
It's almost like you don't even notice it because you're used to him saying cheese and farting, and then you're like, wait, did he just?
Yeah, I didn't even
queso?
notice. I didn't think about it even hardly.
Yeah.
At that point.
I guess now that we've got that out of the way, we can move on to the bees. Right out the gate, we've got blow. We have a briefcase. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
We have bills.
Bills, blades, bullets. Body through glass. The shark breaks through a window pane.
Oh, hell yeah.
We have mannequin boobs, mannequin butt. We have blood. We have a brew. We have a beach. This one, these next two are not tropes, but they're in this movie pretty heavily. We have black magic and breakdancing. A beheading, and then during the shoot the basketball or I destroy the world, we had a boom shakalaka.
Thank you for that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't have any more. No. I didn't really keep track of bees. This one was so plot crazy.
Yeah.
Did we have
attention was pulled away?
Did we have a blind guy or a blindfold?
We did have a blind guy.
We have a blind guy.
And
Good
we had
call.
eyeballs.
Yeah. We had a blind. Yeah, I forgot that that's a bee.
Blind guy. Yeah.
Blind guy with
any
a
blazes
billfold.
or blasts. I mean, do the blasts?
No.
Like when he uses his force powers to explode the shark at the end.
Maybe.
I wouldn't count those.
No, he kind of like. He kind of does that.
Explosions, right? Yeah.
It's like an
Feels like there was a
implosion almost.
blast. I don't know.
I don't think there's any flames. It was
You can
just
count if you
like-
want. It's just half-assed.
He just popped. Yeah. Lots of blood.
Yeah, blood.
CGI blasts. I don't know. Sure.
Honorable mention there. We forgot to talk about how the shark jumps over him and he shoots it like in Free Willy, but
It is fun every time he does it. He does it at least twice, right?
And it slows down like the bullets are going the same speed, but the shark is slower now.
If you just show me that clip and we're like, NARCO Shark, you should watch this. I'd be like, yep.
yeah, the trailer is like that's
That
what I
is
mean,
all
yeah.
it takes. That is all it took, realistically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good marketing for at least people like us.
All right.
Good.
Well, if nothing else, let's go ahead and rate this thing and get out of here. Starting with, you know what? Starting with JD.
Oh, that's great because I have no fucking idea.
I know, that's why we're starting with you.
Is this a trash film?
I was like, I want to make this as difficult as possible.
Apocalypse?
The modern
No,
piece of
I didn't get all
trash.
that.
I don't know.
It's
It's definitely super low budget.
Are you singing Smurfs?
That's
No,
what
I
that
just-
sounded like, yeah.
I think I just I made that up. I don't know.
I assume
I made that up. I don't know.
The guy
Ba-da-ba,
who's directing
just
it is
making it up.
also the guy in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So right off the bat, it's pretty,
It's trash, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
low budget.
Yeah.
It's,
crazy.
and again, trash is not,
There's no real definition.
it's not
it's like-
about
it's like parody.
quality. It's
It's
about
a parody in a way, though. That's what I'm
made.
That's what I'm having trouble with. It's
So
like,
you don't use the trash scale.
yeah.
It's not 5 bags of trash based on it being a trash film. It's 5 bags of trash potentially based on it being a parody of a trash film.
I don't know if it's a parody as much as a gestation or something.
Like, for instance, I'll give you, I think, what genre would you put MacGruber in?
Spoof.
Spoof. I think you put it in spoof.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, there's more to it. I don't know if I'm gonna. I just felt like honestly the sound effects were so jarring to me. I don't know if that's gonna taint my score, but like it was to the point where like I needed Sister Panda to come in and help me with my headache that I was getting. Like some of the sound effects were like affecting me in a way, same way that I felt high during Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So it's not really, I don't know. I'm kind of sugarcoating this,
You're
but like
psychosomaticing.
I'll give it. I want to
control.
give it a 2. I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, I know because I see that there's so much potential, but I really think that he could have made a much shorter, like that. The Sister Panda bit was like I think what he was trying to do with a lot of the other bits, but they just went on like really, really long. And there is a lot of really fun stuff in this, but I'm interested to see what else he does in the future for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My uncomfortable rating. You're welcome.
Joey.
I think I would give this a 3.5, but because I think Justin would rate it high, I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, I enjoyed myself. I felt like I was enjoying myself more than everybody here, but it's not perfect. It's really super raw, but I think there's enough good here that I would recommend it for, fucking people with trash movie brainworms.
Mhm.
It's a think piece.
Here we are.
Yeah. It's a think piece.
Apocalypse.
I'm going 3.75. Because I feel like it was a social commentary. Like I don't want to detract from what I felt. I guess I kind of feel like he brought me into his subconscious. And I was able to empathize maybe with what he was trying to say. I don't know how to explain that. It was
There were under the surface level of this. There's like real stuff.
yeah.
It's very weird.
And so I was able to see a perspective that maybe I don't walk around in every day. And
That's movies. That's movies, baby.
I thought it was yeah, it really is. I mean, that's
Empathy machine, right? Yeah.
I mean, he's not making a what did Scorsese call it?
Cinema. No, cinema?
He called the Marvel movies. He's not making an amusement park film, but at the same time, he is.
Yeah.
It's very much amusement park.
Yeah. It's a weird dichotomy in this movie.
Yeah, I think he kind of has stuff to say, and
And he's very funny on top of it. So.
and he seems comical, and I don't know. I feel like the tongue in cheekness to it is a style he was going for. I think as he grows as a filmmaker, he'll realize those were his filmmaking insecurities, and I think he'll step into. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's destined to make something great. And this was the beginning of that career. This was his bottle rocket.
That's what I was going to say. This is his bottle rocket.
Yeah.
You're seeing.
You're seeing some Wes Anderson stuff.
Well, I think you're seeing bits of somebody who has a very distinct vision and a very like unique thing that he's going for. And Wes Anderson with Bottle Rocket. Watching it now, you're like, oh, I see flashes of the Wes Anderson that we know now. It's not all there, but you see flashes of it, like as he's kind of working up that courage to
do the big thing.
To do the thing for the entirety of a movie.
Someone give him a big paycheck.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, Apocalypse, that this is his Bottle Rocket.
I hope so. As we know, making movies is fucking exhausting, and
it is
consuming. So
yeah, and that was going to be my next thought. Was like, I hope he sticks with it.
Make at least make one more to see if you got it
absolutely.
in you.
Well, that's what it felt like.
And then he'll make one more before Justin finishes making.
It'll probably fucking come out before Dickhead. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't blame anybody for bailing and becoming a fucking accountant to pay the bills. Like I don't. It's
incredibly hard.
But I hope he sticks with it, and I hope he makes at least one more.
I mean, he's a real pure outside artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
He took a big fucking swing with this, and
the music is great. He's a musician, I think. More
good.
So than any of it.
You know, I respect the hell out of him writing this, directing it, starring in it, producing it. Like, just he's like, I want to make this fucking thing. I'm gonna make this fucking thing. And like, yeah, he did a Kickstarter, and other people saw his vision, and they chipped in, and here it is. It's a singular vision. It just needs to be honed a little bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Nice. I'm amending my score, and I'm matching your 4.
Same. I'm going to raise mine by 2 points. Let's go ahead and give it a 4 and cut everything else I said. Because I'm giving it.
Don't feel bad.
No, please don't hate me. He'll become Wes Anderson in the future and be like, "Oh yeah, I was going to cast JD in something, but fuck that guy."
Because he's been real big about this guy.
I think. Well, I was kind of giving him a 2 for the same reason y'all gave him a 4, which makes me feel weird about it. But like I can't. Okay, us talking about it and explaining the jokes and like, or just making like retelling the jokes is like super fun. And I remember having a great time with that. It's just, I can't forget like how I felt in some of those bits that they would just kind of.
I get what you're saying too, because I've sat through stuff on Adult Swim that I did not like.
Yeah.
You know, I am
the Tim and Eric show.
Yeah, like I like Tim and Eric too, but
Me
like
too.
if you make me watch, you make me watch their full length movie, like I tried one time. Holy fuck! I was like, Jesus, no! I turned it off.
There's moments,
and I had to watch the second half of it like a year later.
Yeah,
they can't all be Frisky Dingo.
No, they cannot.
But I think that what you're getting at, JD, of like the act of watching this movie is not as enjoyable as the act of thinking about and talking about this movie, which I think speaks to the fact that he has something. There's something there, and he just hasn't quite figured out how to translate it to the screen the way that he wants to.
Yeah.
But there's definitely something there at the root of all of it.
Absolutely.
That is really resonating with us in a weird way.
Yeah.
When he came from the dream, like he came out of a dream after talking to his mom, and then there was like an action figure, and it was a shark with boxing gloves. Like there was a lot of
when he's hallucinating.
That was really
that's
interesting.
A really creative few minutes in the film. I thought I meant to bring that up earlier. as like maybe a favorite part when he's. It doesn't even make sense in the narrative structure of the movie. It was just like a fucking cool sequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they are giving him to the shark to be sacrificed, I guess.
Yeah. Right. And honestly, I think if you watch it again, you might get a lot more out of it because of the whole therapist ending.
I kept thinking about that too. I was like, I wish I had seen this. I wish if I was in like college now or like early college even, I wish I had seen this. So because I was obsessed with like weird stuff like this in college. I would find something that no one fucking cared about, and I would watch it over and over again or listen to the album over and over again.
Bullshit.
Okay.
I call bullshit on that. Look
He's not even facing
Joey.
the screen.
I'm anti.
Sure. Okay.
You look like Apocalypse.
I call bullshit because you think nobody cares about Evan Stone.
Wow. We watched that short film together.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know, but
You
Apocalypse
care about it because I've imparted this upon you. You would never have known.
This is true.
He's imprinted on you.
I would not
in a
know
way.
about Evan. Well, to be fair, I would have known Evan Stone. I just wouldn't have known that I knew Evan Stone
Sure. Yeah.
had I not known Joey.
Yeah. I just love how you look like you're in a call center right now. Like, you're like
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I'm like,
Give me your fucking money, old lady.
I know, right?
Sorry to bother you.
Please hold.
Sorry to bother
What a
you.
great movie.
Absolutely. Sorry to bother you is on my top
Oh, yeah.
5
movie.
movies
That's great.
ever list.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really, really fantastic movie.
Oof. Yeah.
I'm going to shout out this band I listened to in college called the Worm Quartet. That I'm pretty sure is just one guy making some of the weirdest fucking music I've ever heard.
Are they better than Anal Cunt?
More enjoyable because Anal Cunt's just fuck you 311 or whatever. 311 fucking sucks. I just saw the gayest guy on earth.
Well, that
Anal
is
Cunt, everyone.
All right. Yep.
That is NARCO Shark, 2023's NARCO Shark. Yeah, I wanna watch it again. I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while. So
Yeah. Likewise.
I need to show someone this, but I don't know who. Perhaps Nolan in 10 years.
yeah, that's the thing, right? Is it's like you have to
No
cherry
cursing.
pick. You're like, I need to find the right combination of
Alcohols and people.
yeah.
No, I honestly think you should show it to your friends that are Mexican American that are also into like the arts, because I think there might be a lot of depth here that we're missing that they might catch.
Interesting point.
So that's going to be my attempt to spread the word about it, because I think they might be able to shed some light on some of the
Speaking of
more
good
existential questions I have about it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you all for giving up your Thursday night, Friday morning to watch this movie and talk about it. And thank you all for watching and listening, and we will see you next time.
stuff. Shout out to Mannequin Big Naturals.
Could be